Have you ever heard of a people eating fish, the whole fish? Yep, the whole fish would be cooked in whatever way, placed on the plate, on the table, entirely, and sometimes with the eyes staring straight back at you, and the tail curled over or straight up like this, sometimes as if it was fried, suspended in a flop. Yep, the entire fish. Yes. So come and join me as I journey back to the islands, back in the day, and show you how particularly island people used to, and I think they still do, eat their fish. Hi, this is Angie. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for liking the video and leaving a nice comment down below. And thank you also for subscribing to get more of these unique island culture series. Yeah, so as the island, you know, an island is surrounded by water. So the island of Jamaica, which I am from, half my life I was raised there, and the island is surrounded in the Caribbean Sea. So it's a Caribbean island. And so since we're, surrounded by sea, then a lot of seafood is a part of our diet. Now, back in the days, so people love the beach, love going to the beach. But how we do our fish, it was fresh fish. Back in the days, we don't know nothing about buying fish on ice. We may put it, if we buy ample amount, in our fridge or the freezer to serve us for days or a few weeks in there. We take it out, thaw it out, and cook it however we would want to cook it. But back in the days, fresh fish from the beach side is the thing to do. That you hear nothing else. You go early in the morning. I remember as a kid, early in the morning, whenever my mom wanted to cook fish, and we would see several people on the beach, on the sand, waiting, sometimes just at the peak of dawn, just a little daylight, and we would be waiting for the fishermen to come out in their boats. So sometimes you could look from way far in the horizon and see these little tiny things, and you realize when they're coming in, it's the fishermen coming in their boats. That's how fresh we wanted our fish. And guess what? Sometimes they're selling the fish and they're still jumping. I am vegan now. I don't eat any animal or byproducts, but back in the days I did, and this is how we ate fish. So we would buy the fish fresh like that, freeze it, sometimes cooked right away, right out of the sea, and sometimes freeze the rest that we don't want. Yeah, and that's how we would mostly, of course you have the fish market where the fishermen would also go, but some people were particular. They went to the beach side to meet and buy from the fishermen directly. Yeah, and so we would cook the fish. We don't know about slicing and filleting fish in the majority. The majority way how we cook fish was in entirety. And you had like several ways how we cook fish back in the island. You either steam it, fry it, which was the favorite, roast it. Some people probably boil their fish like in fish soup. I never liked fish soup. But my favorite, because somehow fish used to kind of upset me. So my favorite type of cooking fish is frying it dry. Yep, and that's how some people would fry it. And as children, people would be careful how they give children fish, because many times you're eating fish and the bone, that's the thing when it's made, cooked in entirety, whole fish, the bone is there. And some people, when it's fried dry, the bone would be delicious and filled with all the seasoning. And so because it's fried dry, the bone would be very crisp and crackly, like crackers. So when you chew it up, you chew up the bones like that and eat it. Yes, that was, and I know back in the islands it's still a thing. Fried crisp dry, like certain small fish we would do like that, especially they call them kete kete. The little shine flippery ones, and they come in like the thousands. There's a lot of them, and those you are sprat too. You would fry those and eat them dried and crisp and delicious. And you don't want that bone stuck in your throat. So people would kind of pick out flesh for children, and as teenagers you start eating, oh, you cry when a bone stuck in your mouth. What they would give you to eat. Yeah. they wouldn't take you to the hospital. That's a common thing on the island. They give you a big dumpling to chew up, to push down the bone, or dried bread. Yes, dried bread. That was just a thing. Unless there was a huge emergency, then you'll be taken to the doctor or the emergency room. But you just get a piece of dumpling and they say swallow it down. And a lot of times, that's how the bone would not get stuck in our throat. Have you ever heard of that? But those were the days. And the fish, island fish, well seasoned, peppery, and delicious. I remember when I was coming to this country, you know, everybody pack you up and give you food and whatever, my mom. And so fish is the thing to fry or escabeche and pepper. Oh, my mom just finished doing the fish, not realizing that you wait a day or so for it to marinate and get a little less hot and spicy. I went and ate a fish, an entire fish, delicious and all. But honey, it was so spicy. My lips, my throat, my tongue was on fire. I had to go dip my mouth in cool, sweet lemonade and hang my lips, literally like hang the lips, swallow the lemonade, suspend it in my mouth, and when I finish swallowing, I keep it in my mouth, then I'll swallow it and hang my lips in the cup of lemonade to cool it off. I'm like, never again. I've never felt anything like that. And I made sure when they just finished escabeche or fry the fish to go foreign, another country, wait until the seasoning and the spice settle down and it's not so hot. Yeah. So those were the days with us eating fish on the island. I remember one time I was at work, my coworker saw me coming in the lunchroom in the early days, and I took out my fish food. And she looked over at the desk in the lounge and was like, "Are you gonna eat the entire fish?" I'm like, yes, that is how island people eat it. And that's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. But I guess she wasn't used to seeing the fish and the eyes looking straight up at her and the tail. But I ate it. I showed her because she was interested. I showed her how I deflesh the fish, fillet it, and eat it right there and leave the entire bone structure. She was in amazement. Yep. And it was just a thing that we did. I remember back on the beach side, sometimes the fishermen would fry the fish, not fry it. They would roast it on zinc pans. They would flatten the zinc that you put on house top, flatten it out, put it over stone fire. Make some wood fire with some 3 big stones, put the zinc on top, and roast the fish. That you can smell like 4 blocks away and then some. Delicious. Roast fish was amazing. Steamed fish was amazing, but I preferred when it's fried or roasted. And yes, that is how us island people back in the days used to eat our fish, entire fish. We cook it, and the pride was not to let the head break off. Yep, and people would cook it straight, full entire fish like that. They still do, and I'm sure island people now do fillet fish like only maybe, but that was a thing in the days. And people would go for the fish head, especially when it's fried dry. Fish head, they chew up the whole entire head, eyes and all. And you had to give them their fish head with the eyes in there. And so this is how, you know, island people roll back in the days. Lots of uniqueness in our culture. I hope you like this. Do you know of anybody who eats the entire fish? Do you do that? Tell me about it and share this video to some other island people that you might know, or others who would be so interested in this unique kind of culture. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, share a nice comment on these island series. You can find them in my playlist, Unique Island Culture Series. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next Unique Culture Island series. Peace.